You work hard, you try to follow all the rules, but when you look at your bank account, it just never seems to grow. What if I told you it's not actually your fault? What if the real problem is this invisible software running in your head, a program that was pretty much designed to keep you poor?
Seriously, think about that for a second. This isn't just some philosophical question, it's a clue. We're about to pull back the curtain on this hidden programming that's been quietly sabotaging your finances for years. And then, here's the best part. We're going to show you exactly how to rewrite it.
Okay, so think of your brain like a computer. The actual hardware, it's the same. Biologically, the brain of an average person and the brain of a billionaire are identical. The only difference, and it's a huge one, is the software, the mental programming. They're just running a completely different operating system when it comes to money.
So what is this old, buggy software? Well, let's call it the invisible script. It's this set of beliefs that's always running in the background of your mind, so deep you don't even notice it's there, controlling every single financial move you make.
Did these sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. These lines of code aren't just quaint little sayings from our grandparents. They are commands. Commands that were installed in our minds when we were kids, before we could even question them, and they form the foundation of this really outdated financial operating system.
And you see it in action all the time. Every time you hesitate to ask for that raise you absolutely deserve, or you feel that little pang of guilt for wanting more out of life, that's not really you thinking. That's the program. It's just running on autopilot. That's the invisible script at work.
So you have to ask, right? Who wrote this script? Where did this code come from? Well, it wasn't some single grand conspiracy. It was more like a slow, deliberate programming that happened over centuries, with a few key players adding their own lines of code along the way. This programming was basically layered in over hundreds of years. It kicked off by linking wealth with suffering and being obedient. Then it got scaled up in a massive way through a school system that was, frankly, designed to create workers. And finally, it was all cemented into our culture by promoting this idea of the safe path. College, job, mortgage, retirement. Each layer just added another restriction to the script. I mean, Rockefeller wasn't exactly subtle about it. The school system he helped create, everything from hall passes to homework, was engineered to produce compliant employees, not free-thinking entrepreneurs. He wanted workers who would just follow the script, no questions asked. Okay, so we know who wrote the code, but how does it actually keep you trapped? Well, it's pretty clever. It exploits a few key psychological bugs in our human operating system. Let's break them down. So, first up is a big one, loss aversion. The pain of losing $100 feels about twice as strong as the joy of finding $100. This little bug makes you prioritize safety above all else, which is why you might hoard cash in a savings account where inflation is just eating it alive, instead of investing it for actual growth.
Next, there's something called cognitive ease. Basically, our brains love taking the familiar path. It's why spending, say, $1,000 on the newest phone feels totally normal, but the idea of taking on good debt, like a business loan, can feel absolutely terrifying. The familiar feels safe, even when it's not the smartest move.
And get this is the real kicker. Financial stress literally makes you dumber. No, I'm serious. Research has shown that the constant worry about money can temporarily drop your effective IQ by as much as 13 points. So you're not bad with money, you're trying to make critical decisions while your brain is basically in survival mode.
So that's the old, buggy software we've all been running. But here's the good news. Software can be upgraded. It's time to delete the old program and install a new one. Let's call it the Wealth Operating System.
The difference is night and day. And it all comes down to the questions you ask yourself. The old script says, I can't afford it. It's a statement, an endpoint. It just shuts down all possibility. The new OS asks, how can I afford it? That's a question, a starting point that opens up solutions. It's a fundamental shift from seeing limitations to seeing possibilities.
Now, the core of this new operating system is a concept called leverage. See, the old script teaches you to trade your time for money, an hour of work for an hour of pay. That's a trap. Leverage is about doing something once that pays you over and over again. Building an online product, creating a video, buying a business that generates cash flow. That's leverage. It's about working differently, not just harder.
So, how do you actually install this new OS? You don't need a degree in finance. You just start with a few simple but really powerful mental frameworks. Here are 3 you can start using literally today to rewire your brain for wealth.
Let's start with the $4 test. Your old brain sees a $4 coffee and thinks, it's just $4. Your new rich brain sees the opportunity cost. That same $4, if you invested it daily, could be worth over $146,000 in 30 years. Now, the point isn't to skip the coffee. The point is to build systems that earn you more than your coffee costs. See the difference?
Next up is the 3-2-1 rule. This is a super simple formula to break you out of that employee thinking. It forces you to shift your focus from just earning a salary to building automated streams of revenue that can work for you even when you're not working. And finally, the 72-hour rule. The old script demands a perfect plan, which leads to endless research and, you guessed it, zero action. The new OS pushes you to test an idea within 72 hours because action and real-world data are always more valuable than theory. Perfect is the enemy of rich.
So now you know. You can't unsee this programming. And that means you have a choice. You can go back to sleep, keep running the old script, and just keep getting the same results. Or you can wake up, install the new software, and completely rewrite your financial story.
The script has been exposed, and the tools to upgrade your thinking are right here in your hands. Your current life is just a result of your current thinking. So if you want a different life, you need different thoughts that lead to different actions. The power and the responsibility is all yours. What happens next? Well, that's entirely up to you.